Hello everyone, and welcome back to Tree of Life Tarot. This is going to be a daily reading for Thursday, April 16th. But of course, tarot is timeless, so trust the timing of this message whenever it finds you, if it calls to you at a later date. So just to set the energy as I was getting ready, I really had to pause and take some time to meditate. And as I've been saying, there's been some really powerful energies in the air that we're all moving through, and with the energy that's kind of arriving with this reading is two things: a sense of like just an exhale, like there's just like it's been go and like hold your breath and kind of push through and navigate everything that has to happen and tap all your extra energy reserves. Ooh, I just want to exhale right there. There's a sense of just, okay, like breathe a little. And maybe I'm not an astrologer, but I keep in touch with what's happening, and I know that there are several planets coming into alignment in Aries right now, in addition to the Aries full moon this Friday. And perhaps it's that alignment that is bringing in this sense of relief, that they're not pulling on each other and pushing at each other and competing. There's just this like aligning, and that alignment creates a moment of exhale amidst lots of movement. That's one. And the second thing that's coming through is like there's this very small voice that is like trying to speak through, or is able to now speak through, now that that energy has subsided, with all of like the noise and the busyness. The image that's coming to mind is almost like adults at Christmas, where we're so caught up in all the chaos and buying the presents and running everywhere and going to the parties, and there's that like frenetic energy where you're moving and kind of missing a lot of the details and cannot hear the quieter energies. And now there's that moment of it's subsided, and it's almost like this childlike voice. It's not meek and it's not shy, it's just quiet and a little bit young, able to kind of speak through because there's space to be heard. It's not that voice wasn't there before, it's just it couldn't be heard. And now is the moment for this voice to sort of have its moment, because the noise is settling and there's space for it. So that's what's coming through. We'll see if that voice has something specific to say. I'm being told to shuffle again. I've already shuffled and meditated quite a bit, but it's new energy. I've been talking about this for a bit. There's new energy now. One more shuffle, I'm told. There's our Emperor again, who's been coming out all the time with the Four of Swords, which is a moment of rest and healing. Okay, I'm told we're set. Whew, okay, well, goodness, that's not very restful. Magician's been having his say quite a bit lately as well. Oh my gosh. I was hoping for some like nice watery energy here. Not so much. Okay, I'm gonna cover our little humans down here, but bottom of the deck is the Judgment card. So this is resurrection energy. This is, well, literally coming out of the grave. I'm gonna just put some little stones on these people so I don't get in trouble with YouTube. Okay. Resurrection energy, new life after transformation, and of course Magician is the ultimate card, in addition to death, of transformation. The Magician is taking the energies and arranging and organizing them. The Magician, now I want to say this because I'm reading this initially with the viewer being the Knight of Swords here. But the Magician is an energy we all have within us. It is an archetype that exists within all of us that knows how to wield the elements. You know, our emotions, our physical resources, our spirituality and creativity, and our mental energies. who knows how to combine them. You know, so often we can get stuck in the trap of identifying as one or the other. Like, oh, I'm just a feeler, or I'm just a thinker, or I'm a planner, or I'm this, I'm that. And we all, you know, have our particular forms that we express in this world, and are because of that, you know, lean more into one or the other of these elements, if you will. But the point isn't to stay there. The point is to integrate all of them, to discover all of them, and find out what happens when you mix them all together. And that's where so many people get stuck in life, is you say, oh, I'm just a thinker. And I think this is a little bit what this card is coming out saying, that I use my mind, I'm logical, I'm rational, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, or I'm just a feeler and I don't want to participate in all this material stuff. That's how you get stuck. That's how growth does not happen. So whatever predisposition you come in with, this is why, you know, if you're familiar with the Enneagram or not, it might be something you want to look into, because it helps identify your strengths and your natural predispositions, but it also shows you your weak points and where there's opportunities to grow. So our Knight of Swords is mental energy running away. Too much mental energy that is not being balanced out with the other elements that are needed. Okay, let's get some other cards. So we're going to see what the Magician wants to do with our Knight of Swords. Okay, that did not want to come out. Well, there's our Ten of Cups, King of Wands. I just did a reading about this energy shift, and our King of Wands and our Magician. Okay, well, this is interesting. Hang tight. We got to cover up our people here, but we got the Lovers, Two of Cups, and the Hangman. So. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Well, there's our High Priestess. Silence, mystery, holding back. So there is something in this about guard against impulse, about don't let your mind run off with you, because there's some really beautiful stuff coming in here. We'll come back to the High Priestess. So, Ten of Cups. Now, we have our Knight of Wands looking at our Ten of Cups. There's almost a feeling here of being desirous of the the Ten of Cups. Gosh, I just did this other reading and I'm wondering, and with a completely different deck, mind you. But the King of Wands featured prominently, and there was a question of, you know, once the King of Wands has been achieved, he's full of this passion and creativity, but what's he going to do with it? Well, he's looking at the Ten of Cups. That seems to be what he desires. And then here we have Lovers right in the center, followed by the Two of Cups, which are, I mean, these are romance and marriage cards. There's no doubt about it. Now, you can look at this as marriage of, you know, inner and outer masculine and feminine, or excuse me, inner masculine and feminine that we all have within us. But with the Ten of Cups, that's ultimate emotional fulfillment, and it requires another partner or other people in order to have that. You know, this King of Wands. And I'm not, bear with me here, because I'm not making judgments about men or masculinities, but that masculine energy archetypally is about, like, how do I get to the top? How do I achieve? How do I become like that, like, self-sufficient, independent, fully realized? You know, there is some me energy to it. And then there's a lot of ego that goes with that, because, you know, once you're at the top, you got to protect that place. but it's an isolating place to be. And he's looking almost with longing at this emotional fulfillment that inherently involves some other people. So how do we get there? Well, we need partnerships. And now this doesn't have to be romantic. This could be a business partnership. This could be creative partnerships. This also represents a choice. This is Gemini energy. And so what I'm getting here, there could already be another person present that our Knight of Wands, wants to make this exchange with, but I don't see the action really happening right here, especially with our Hangman. This is a pause or a delay, a moment of suspension in order to get a new perspective. So I see our King of Wands very much in contemplation right now. Very much considering if a different choice is to be made, if he wants a Two of Cups. Does he want to go it alone? Or does he want the Two of Cups? And so where this was warning a little bit against impulsivity and letting the mind run away. This is kind of a moment of suspension and contemplation. And of course, our High Priestess at the bottom echoes this a bit. She is silent, she holds back, she goes within for wisdom, and her wisdom seems to be needed here. Okay, Three of Cups, so another card of socializing, reunion, celebration with others, again, happiness with others. All of these cups so far are indicating happiness with others, okay? So there's a small offering. Six of Swords is flipped over. Oh boy. Notice how that Five of Cups is crossing the Ten of Cups and touching the King of Wands. So wondering if the King of Wands has suffered an emotional loss. That's a message that's been coming out a bit lately. It's energy I would love to move away from, honestly, but it keeps coming out. It keeps coming out, but the fact that it was crossing these two cards is significant. Perhaps our King of Wands is continuing to look back and say, I almost had this. Look at what I almost had, and I lost it. And is considering how to bring this back into his life. Oof, because again, oh my goodness. All right, we have to deal with this real quick before I pull the rest of the cards. Okay, notice the direction of our Five of Cups figure here. He's looking back at this Three of Cups. Three of Cups is down here. He's kind of pining for this Ten of Cups, what could have been, looking back to the past. In this layout here, looking that direction to the left, if you will, is looking to the past, is looking to the spilled cups of what could have been. And then, if he would turn around, if our King of Wands would turn around, he would see there's a Two of Cups right here. Our Hangman, this isn't in reverse. This isn't lost. It's just that our king needs to turn around. But he's still, and this could be caught up in a fantasy. But I will say this card does indicate a real loss. But the Two of Cups is still on the board for him. And the Hangman is waiting, It's not going anywhere. Yet, Love doesn't wait forever. But it's still on the board. So that's quite powerful right there. Okay. Okay, Seven of Swords. So that's fighting for what you want. I just saw the Empress, but she didn't want to come out. And this is, this might as well be the High Priestess again. Page of Pentacles. This is my card of a small offering, of a baby step towards engagement. This is how we get ourselves unstuck. A a small offering, putting a little tiny piece of ourselves through some small action into, the flow of life again. Whether this is accepting an invitation, whether this is extending an invitation, whether this is choosing to participate in something or sign up for that class or, whatever it is. It's that little tiny movement of, getting a little bit of skin in the game, putting your energy back into play through some tangible action that signals to the universe that, okay, you're ready to engage again. It's a small offering that sets things in motion. Okay, so I don't want to spend too much more time on this because I think the Five of Cups really said what wanted to be said here, but there is a sense of, it's like this party's going on without him still. This party is still happening. It's not a 10 of Cups, it's a 3 of Cups. And with his Page of Cups clarifying the King of Wands, it's like wondering if he can make that small offering, that small emotional offering. There's that desire to engage with this again. So our 5 of Cups, we already talked about the regret, the loss of the 3 of Cups. And the loss of, we talked about with the Page of Pentacles, that flow. There's a sense of, having withdrawn from the flow. The cups are not flowing. They've spilled over. But, Page of Cups sort of echoes what I said about the Page of Pentacles. It's, and this is sort of where this is a tangible offering. This is like the heart's, it's like that little inkling, that nagging of the heart to want to make this offering, to want to re-engage. And that's probably what the King of Wands is feeling right now. So this is our choice point, excuse me. The Lovers is a choice. Our 5 of Cups figure here, is he going to keep looking here to the left at what he lost to the past, or is he going to turn around and look forward to the 2 of Cups? Now our 2 of Cups is clarified by the 7 of Wands, so if he turns around and decides to choose the 2 of Cups, this is fighting for what he wants. This is, accepting the challenges that go with it. And knowing, I think there is an awareness here, an understanding that if the 2 of Cups is chosen, there will be challenges. There will be some fights. There will be, some obstacles that have to be overcome. And not in a horrible, negative kind of way, just in a growth and learning and taking ownership and standing up for the choice. And so I think that's where this speaks to me with this 2 of Swords here, clarifying the Hangman, that, this is a moment of contemplation. This is going within, seeing with the inner eye, sort of closing off the outer world for a moment in order to gain inner equilibrium and find the right path forward. It's also a choice point. This is all choices here. So I think this is where I'm going to wrap this up right here, because this is really just where it is right now. This is the message for today. It's the awareness, it's the longing, it's realizing what the choice is, realizing what the choice would entail, 7 of Wands, and sitting in this contemplation to get the mind clear about what the right action is, what the right aligned choice and movement is. It's like awareness and then getting the head around it in order to make this small, real offering. So that's where I'm going to leave it. Okay. Have a wonderful day, and we'll pick this up again tomorrow. Take care.